Offensive line troubles again for the New York Giants in the 2025 NFL season. Andrew Thomas, will he be ready for week one? And let's talk about it here in New York Giants Full Access with your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. Man, let's get into it, man.
New York Giants.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access. So, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants offensive line here for a couple of minutes with the New York Giants. As you guys know, the NFL season is almost here among us, and the Giants are going to start off going against the Washington Commanders with JD5 and Terry McLaurin coming off some new money, man, almost $100 million. But let's talk about these New York Giants and this offensive line. And with the initial 50-man roster, we already have Joshua Zudo on IR. We got Andrew Thomas, who may be a scratch for week one because he's just getting back from his injury, just starting to get practice, just starting to get moving. So we may have James Hudson, the third, starting at left tackle for us. We still have questions about John Michael Schmidt. And we still have questions about our interior offensive line. Now, with the questions about our interior offensive line, and Andrew Thomas may not be ready in the beginning of this NFL season, there's a potential of having this Giants offensive line struggle again in the 2025 NFL season. So it's been like this in almost 10 years now. We struggled in 2017, 2018, 19, 21, 22 we were a little bit better, 23, 24, and now we're in 25. So let's just say out of the last 10 years, we have been mildly bad in at least 7 of them. New York Giants fans, should we be worried? Should we be worried about our offensive line again? I like the draft pick in Marcus Bowe, 5th round pick. I think he's going to be a heck of a player for us. But what about Greg Van Roten at right guard? What about Runyon at left guard? What about John Michael Schmitz at center? What about our backup left tackle? What about our backup guards and Aaron Stinney and Schlotman and Azudu, who is hurt? We released Kubas. What about our offensive line, man? This is something that we need to talk about, and this Giants team needs to figure this out. I think Joe Shane and Brian Daboll being here 4 years have been had long enough to at least give us some comfort in our offensive line going forward. And I think that's a mark of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll if this line cannot come together and at least be half decent this year, even if Andrew Thomas is injured. Because we know every time Andrew Thomas gets injured, our offensive line goes from maybe decent to the worst in the league. And that shouldn't happen just with one injury. What about Evan Neal? Is he a bust? Quite frankly, yes. Azudu, bust. McKeithen, bust. Kubas couldn't make the team this year. What about all your other swing tackles that were here? Tyree Phillips didn't make it. You know, the free agent signings that you signed last year, and Forsyth and all those guys didn't make it. See, this offensive line could be the bane to our existence this year again, because we're playing some pretty doggone good defenses. The Eagles twice, the Broncos, the Lions, the Bears. The Cowboys always seem to get us. The Chargers, the Chiefs. We're playing some pretty doggone good defenses this year, and if this offensive line can't hold up, especially in the middle of the line. If Andrew Thomas and Jermaine Illuminor are healthy, I'm totally fine with those two. I think we did a hell of a job with getting those two tackles, but they gotta stay healthy. Andrew Thomas has not been healthy for almost 3 years now. He continues to get hurt. And then the inside of our offensive line, can it hold up against these tough teams that's great in the interior, like the Eagles? Can Runyon and Greg Van Roten and John Michael Schmitz hold up? And John Michael Schmitz, another draft pick, they're struggling. Can he hold up this year? Can he take his game to another level this year? This is a concern for this Giants team going into this season. And since I'm back in action with the New York Giants, you know, I got to keep it real. What about our run game? Can we get our run game going? Not if our interior of our offensive line can't move the pile. See, these are things that I'm going to be talking about throughout the season, and it's going to show its face, especially when you get in that stretch of Broncos, Eagles, Broncos, Eagles. We're going to see what this offensive line is about. But there's a potential for Giants fans to be let down by this Giants offensive line again this season. But we're going to see, and we definitely got to see about the health of Andrew Thomas, because if he's not healthy, I don't think this line can survive without Andrew Thomas, because we're so lack of depth on this offensive line. So we're going to see going into the future with this New York Giants team. The season is right around the corner, like I said, but we're going to see, man. This has been New York Giants Full Access with your boy, Big Pat Sports Talk. Hit that like button, hit that join button, hit that big blue join button to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and get you some exclusive content right here on the network. And go over to the Aboriginal Sports Network and hit that subscribe button as well. You can catch me over there with NFL All 32, the NFL on ABSN. You can catch me over there on our home network with the Aboriginal crew. But until the next episode with the New York Giants Full Access with your boy, you know what it is, man. Peace.
New York Giants.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access.